Understand why this Klay conversation is even happening, you have to understand what the Lakers just pulled off and what it cost them. This offseason, Rob Pelinka didn't tinker. He demolished and rebuilt. LeBron James is gone. He signed in Philadelphia. That relationship is over, and the Luka Dončić era in Los Angeles begins completely on its own terms now. With LeBron out the door, Pelinka went to work. He emptied the war chest to get Walker Kessler out of Utah in a sign-and-trade, giving up the 2031 and 2033 unprotected first-round picks, plus pick swaps in 2028 and 2030. 4 picks for 1 center. He then locked Kessler up on a 4-year, $130 million extension. He re-signed Austin Reeves on a 4-year, $185 million deal. And he stacked the rest of the roster with a collection of role players who can shoot, defend, and stay out of Luka's way. Quentin Grimes, Colin Sexton, Sandro Mamukelashvili, Matisse Thybulle, Zaire Williams. In 35 minutes of spending on the first day of free agency, the Lakers committed over $260 million. And Luka, he reportedly told the front office he was excited, that Walker Kessler was exactly what he'd asked for, a real rim-protecting, lob-catching center who can anchor a pick and roll, that Reeves' back was non-negotiable, that this group built around him finally looked like something he could work with. But here's the thing nobody's saying out loud. The Lakers spent everything they had. The picks are gone, the cap space is exhausted, and right now they're sitting at 16 guaranteed contracts, 1 over the league maximum, heading into training camp. So if there is a problem with this roster, and there is, they need a creative solution. Not an expensive one, not a draft capital one, a creative one. Which brings us back to Dallas. Here's what I want you to understand about Luka Dončić. When Luka runs a pick and roll, every defense in the league has the same plan. You send extra bodies at him, you take away his driving lanes, you dare someone else to beat you. It worked last season more than it should have. Because the someone else on a lot of those possessions, while Luka was drawing 2 defenders, was a guy who wasn't a real enough shooting threat to punish it. Luka averaged 33.5 points, 8.3 assists, and 7.7 rebounds last season. He was the clear engine of this offense, but the supporting cast around him was not a great shooting group, and in the playoffs, against elite defenses, that mattered. Now look at this new roster. Kessler, elite at rim running, not a shooting threat. Reeves, shooting threat, but primarily a ball handler alongside Luka, not a pure off-ball weapon. Grimes, solid shooter, but hasn't been tested in a major role. Sexton, scorer, but primarily downhill, not a corner threat. Every team Luka faces next season will look at that roster and make the same calculation. Overload Luka, take away his role man, stay attached to Reeves, and let everyone else prove they can make the open 3. That's the problem. Luka needs space. He needs defenders to be genuinely, deeply afraid to leave someone on the perimeter. The kind of afraid that makes them think twice about sending help on a drive. The kind of afraid that opens the entire middle of the floor. He needs a shooter who punishes that hesitation before the defense can even recover. And that player, right now in this market, available from a team actively trying to move him, is Klay Thompson. I need to be honest with you about something. Klay Thompson is not the player he was. He is not the Klay who scored 37 points in a single quarter against Sacramento in 2015. He is not Game 6 Klay, the guy who hit 11 playoff record threes against Oklahoma City in 2016 with the season on the line. He's not the guy who once made 14 threes in a regular season game, a record that still stands. That version of Klay, he's gone. What he put up last season in Dallas was a career worst across the board. 11.7 points per game, 21.7 minutes, just 8 starts. It was the first time in his career that he played more than 66 games and finished outside the top 80 fantasy players. So why are we even having this conversation? Because here's what that career worst season still included: 38.3% from 3 on 7.6 attempts per game. That number, right there, that is what the Lakers are buying. Klay Thompson, at 36 years old on the worst season of his career, is still knocking down more than a third of his threes at a volume that matters. And the reason that matters isn't just the makes, it's what the threat of those makes forces a defense to do before he ever touches the ball. Think about this. Luka runs a high pick and roll with Kessler. The low man on defense, the guy guarding the corner, has two choices: help off Thompson to contest Kessler's roll or stay home. If he stays home, Kessler catches at the rim for an easy two or a lob. If he hedges off to tag Kessler, Luka hits Thompson in the corner, and the shot is already in the air before the recovery can happen. There is no good answer. That's how basketball is supposed to work. And the thing that separates Thompson from a random three-point shooter is the quickness of his release. Klay doesn't need extra time. He catches and fires. By the time a defender closes out, the ball is already gone. That's a skill that doesn't decline the way athleticism does. That's muscle memory built over 15 years of professional basketball. Even in a down year, Thompson still knocked down 2.9 threes a game. In a Luka-centric offense where he's asked to do even less, spot up, move without the ball, catch and release, that number could easily go up. Not back to his prime, but enough to be genuinely dangerous. There's one more thing that doesn't show up in a stat line. Klay already knows how to play with Luka. He spent a season in Dallas alongside him. He's seen how Dončić commands a defense. He knows what it looks like when the double comes. He knows when to hold his spot and when to drift. He's already made the adjustment most veterans struggle with, accepting that when Luka has the ball, you get out of the way and be ready. One of the main reasons Thompson chose the Mavericks over the Lakers in 2024 was specifically because of Luka. Now Luka's in Los Angeles. The player Thompson was chasing followed him anyway. So why would Dallas trade him? Because they have no choice. Dallas is in the middle of a full rebuild around Cooper Flagg. They brought in Zachary Rizachet. They used the draft to stack young talent. And right now, they have too many guaranteed contracts for a roster that is explicitly not trying to win this year. At 36 years old, on a $17.5 million deal in the final year of his contract, Klay Thompson does not fit the Cooper Flagg timeline. He can't develop alongside a 19-year-old. He can't be the bridge piece for a team that isn't trying to compete. And Dallas has already made it clear they would rather trade him than buy him out. A buyout would give them nothing in return. The Lakers' situation is almost a mirror image. They also have 16 guaranteed contracts, one more than they can carry into opening night. Something has to move, regardless. The question is, what goes out and what comes back? One proposed framework has the Lakers sending Jared Vanderbilt, Jake LaRavia, Dalton Knecht, and a pick swap to Dallas in exchange for Thompson. Dallas absorbs contracts they can eventually work around. Los Angeles gets its wing. It won't be easy to structure. Vanderbilt at nearly $13 million next season is a complicated salary to move. One league executive described him as a player with a bad rap given his injury history, but acknowledged he can still play. LaRavia is expiring. Knecht is a young piece Dallas might actually want for a future core. There's also a version of this where the Mavericks want more. PJ Washington packaged with Thompson, giving the Lakers front court help at the cost of a significant long-term contract, $89 million guaranteed through 2029 to 30. That's a much heavier commitment and a different conversation. The Thompson-only version is simpler, and simpler deals actually get done. Now, I'm not going to pretend this is a universally popular idea. There are legitimate reasons to be skeptical. The first one is obvious. Klay Thompson just had the worst season of his career. At 36, declining athleticism, declining defense, declining shot volume. The Lakers aren't building for right now. They're building around Luka for the next 5, 6, 7 years. Does adding a 36-year-old on a one-year deal move that needle? And the defense concern is real. The Lakers just added Matisse Thybulle specifically because they needed a perimeter stopper. Quentin Grimes can guard. Klay, at this stage of his career, is not a plus defender. If you're starting him or giving him 25 minutes, you're making a trade, shooting for defensive vulnerability. Against teams with elite guards, that's a matchup problem. The second concern is roster logic. The Lakers are already dealing with a crowded rotation. Where does Klay fit? If he's coming off the bench, fine. But he hasn't done that consistently since his early career. Is he willing to accept a reduced role? Is he mentally prepared to not start, to come in and shoot, and go back to the bench? That's the only version of this that makes basketball sense for Los Angeles. The flip side, the reporting suggests Klay already understands his role has changed. He was a bench player for stretches last season in Dallas. He's 36 and he's aware of what that means. This is not Klay Thompson demanding the ball 20 times a game. This is a version of Klay who has accepted that his job is to shoot. And the third concern, the Kuminga chase. The Lakers have spent weeks pursuing Jonathan Kuminga, a 23-year-old athletic wing who can defend and grow into a bigger role. That's theoretically a more complete player. But the Kuminga negotiation has been stuck. He wants $24 million a year. The Lakers offered $10 million a year on a 2-year deal. A sign and trade would require a 3-year commitment Kuminga doesn't want. The deal, as of today, looks further away than it did a month ago. And here's what gets forgotten in the Kuminga conversation. Kuminga is a career 33% three-point shooter. He has never averaged more than 1 3-point attempt per game. On a roster built around Luka's gravity, he doesn't solve the spacing problem. He's a different kind of player, more of a secondary scorer, a driver. He wants the ball. Luka needs someone who doesn't. Thompson is a different answer to a different question, and maybe the more important one. Here's where I want to land this. The Lakers this offseason have done something genuinely impressive. They identified the right structure. They went out and got Walker Kessler, the exact type of rim-protecting pick-and-roll big that Luka's game demands. They brought back Reeves and extended him, locking in Luka's most trusted secondary ball handler. They added Thibault and Grimes for the defensive identity this team has never really had. On paper, this is a legitimately better roster than what the Lakers ran out there last year in the playoffs. More defense, more cohesion, clearer hierarchy. But here's my honest take. In a Western Conference that has the Thunder, Spurs, and Timberwolves, you need every advantage you can manufacture, and the one advantage Luka's offense creates more reliably than almost anything else in basketball is open threes. If the spacing isn't good enough to punish help defense, every playoff team will run the same scheme. Load up on Luka and dare his teammates to beat them. A healthy, motivated, role-accepting Klay Thompson is one of the best tools in the NBA for making that scheme backfire. At $17.5 million on a 1-year deal with no long-term commitment required and a Dallas team that wants to move him, this is arguably the most cost-efficient way the Lakers can upgrade this roster right now. No picks, no youth. Just a proven shooter who was born in Los Angeles, already knows Luka's game, and has stated, publicly through reporting, that he would welcome the chance to come home. I'm not telling you this trade is definitely happening. The reporting is clear, nothing has been confirmed, no formal talks have been disclosed, and the Lakers are still prioritizing the Kuminga pursuit. But if Kuminga falls through, if Dallas and Los Angeles find matching pieces, and if Klay Thompson ends up in a purple and gold jersey with Luka Dončić dribbling toward him from the top of the key, 4 championships, 15 years of professional basketball, born in Los Angeles, already knows the playmaker, the most dangerous shooter this offense has had around Luka, not because of who he used to be, but because of what he still does. That changes everything. What do you think? Does Klay Thompson in a Lakers jersey move the needle, or is this too much nostalgia, not enough production? Drop it in the comments, and if you want more video essays like this one, subscribe, because the off-season is not over.